Now then guys, how you doing? Welcome back and thank you for joining me on another rebuild. So today, Bolton Wanderers. I left the poll on my community tab and 33% of you voted for Bolton Wanderers. So yeah, we're going to rebuild them. Currently sat in League One. Not got a lot of finances. The glory days are long gone with Okocha, Ivan Campo and the likes that were tearing it up in the Premier League. Yeah, they're long gone now and we need to rebuild. 5 seasons, same as always, try and get them into the Premier League and see what we can do. So let's have a look at Bolton Wanderers. Right then guys, so here we go, but before we move on, thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe. Obviously if you are new to the channel, it does mean a lot that we subscribe and we're building up those numbers. Now well over 2,000 subs. And if I'm completely honest, there's going to be plenty more rebuilds going into FM23, so yes, get liked and subscribed. So here we go then guys, as you can see, Bolton Wanderers, currently in SkyBet League One, founded in 1874, currently at the University of Bolton Stadium. Now, I remember that being the Reebok, but yes, there we are. Built in 1997, stadium conditions good, and we've got a capacity of 28,000. That is mega. With fierce rivals being Wigan, which is a local rivalry, and other rivalries being Blackburn Rovers and Tranmere, which is historic. So yeah, looking at our key employees here, Ricardo Santos, he is the captain, 26-year-old centre-back. Not bad for the level that we are. And then Dapo Afolayan, probably butchered his name, is our key player, 23-year-old winger there. Obviously, that's if we decide to play with wingers, it is. He can play a bit deeper, should we want him to, and behind the striker as well, where he's competent. And then our hot prospect is Linford Saki, 18-year-old English and Ghana national, current ability 2-star, potential ability 5-star. So there is a little bit to do there. But yeah, as you can see, let's have a look at the history then. So the overview, they were in the Premier League up until the dizzying heights of 2011-12, where they were relegated, and have basically been on a bit of a downward spiral. Relegated in 2015-16, and then were promoted back up, went down a couple of seasons later, and were relegated again down in to League 2, but now they're back up into League 1, where we go again, and hopefully we can push ourselves up into that Premier League place. Once again, 5 seasons, not long to go, but I'm sure if we get this recruitment right and the tactic right, we can get out of League 1 within the first season. That is the plan. So finances wise then, what have you got to work with? So overall balance is just under £1 million at 978k. Transfer budget 125k. The big one there though is I'm only getting 15% of available transfer revenue, so we may not do too much building in this first season if I'm completely honest. It might just be a case of we stick with what we've got, try and get ourselves out of League 1 and hopefully get that transfer revenue sorted out. Wage budget is 92k, we're currently spending 85k, so I've got 7k to spend. I want to bring somebody else in. Debt and loans wise then, £36 million net debt, loving that, so we're in a decent place overall, still being owed money, so I'm happy with how that's looking, but we've just got to get ourselves out of League 1. So what's the board think about all this? And the big thing is obviously trying to keep the board on side. Now, the club culture is to develop players using the club's youth system. I'm sure we can do that. The 5-year plan is to sign players for a profit. Doesn't everybody want that? And to work within the wage budget. So financial stability, absolutely massive for the club. And the current season then is to finish top half in League 1. We're going to go for more than that. Reach the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Reach the 2nd round. But we've got that Papa John's trophy, which is not important here apparently. But that's the one I want to go for. You know, we don't get another chance. Once we're promoted up until the championship, we don't get a chance in the Papa John's. So we might go as well, give that a go. Now, the end of next season is to repair the club's financial damage. Hopefully that's not going to be caused by me this season, but no. Obviously, it's all about securing those finances. My contract expires at the next season. We just work towards becoming an established championship team. So they want us to a mid-table finish, but by the end of next season, we need to work towards becoming an established championship team. So quite bizarre setup there. So what about the squad then? Looking at our best 11 as it stands. So Dion Charles is the best striker at the club with 3.5-star current abilities, almost at his full potential. Finishing 13, composure 13, decent pace and acceleration as well. 3 caps for Northern Ireland, 25-year-old. I like the look of him. 27 goals for Accrington. He has just joined us this season for 325k. What I will say as well is this is the most up-to-date database. So any incoming signings over the summer and outgoings, in fairness, has already happened, as you can see from the setup. As the other best striker at the club is Boa Varsin, 29-year-old Icelandic international with 60 caps, 3 goals. Hasn't really got the finishing, the acceleration or the pace, but still a decent option up front. Out at the left midfield then, plenty of 3-star players. The pick of the bunch being Kieran Sadler, 26-year-old. Acceleration, pace 13 apiece. That crossing and dribbling, 12 and 14. I will take that. And out on the other side, Dion Charles, who is up front. Kachunga, though. Is this Kachunga who was at Huddersfield? It certainly is. We got him on a free transfer from Sheffield Wednesday after playing 27 times. That is a decent bit of business for us there. In the midfield then, Josh Sheehan, 26-year-old Welsh international with 2 caps. We've got some decent pedigree here. I'm quite happy with how this squad's setting up. Defensive left looks light with Declan John, 26-year-old, another Welsh international with 7 caps out there. Current ability 3-star, potential ability 3.5-star, but yeah, really happy with this. George Johnson, 22-year-old, 13, 13, 14 for heading, marking and tackling, even strength for 12. Current ability 3.5-star, potential ability 4.5-star. So yeah, really happy with how this is going. Gethin Jones, 9 caps for Wales at under 21 level, 25-year-old. You know, I'd like a bit better crossing and dribbling there, but acceleration and pace, 13 and 12. That marking 12, heading 12, tackling 12. Solid. And what about the goalkeeper option then? We've got Trafford on loan from Manchester City, quality player, 3-star, current ability, potential ability 5-star. Any option to buy him there? No. So we've just got him for the season. We'll make the most of that, and then we'll look at next season and what we're going to do in the goalkeeping department. So yes, that squad's looking good. So tactically then, how would we set up? So I would set up in the 4-4-2. I think that's the way to go, to solid formation to start with. Obviously, we'll look at these wide men. This is how I'm going to set up before any transfers. Obviously, I'll have a really good look at the squad. And realistically, if we just make that quick pick, there'll be a lot of players currently out of position. You know, we can move players about. Hopefully, the better. Kachunga suited there. Afolayan, what's he like? It doesn't really suit it, but we could go in any kind of formation. Obviously, if you've got more strength in those attack and wide areas, that's where I'm going to go. So what about the development centre then? We've already mentioned Linford Sakio, and we're looking at potential. Nelson Kameni as well, 18-year-old defensive midfielder, current ability 2-star, potential ability 5-star there, and we can play him in the centre midfield. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll move him to the senior squad as it stands. Linford Saki as well. You know, he can go in to the senior squad, so we've got more options there. When we look at the squad overall then, who's the highest paid player? Bo Varson, our 29-year-old Icelandic striker, currently getting 5k per week, £1,500 higher than Kachunga. That's, you know, that's $3,500 there. I'm very happy with that. And who's the highest transfer value player? Connor Bradley, currently on loan from Liverpool, is valued up to £12 million. Our own player, though, George Johnson, currently valued up to £1.4 million. So there's an opportunity. I'm not going to sell any players because we don't get that transfer revenue back. So I think for us, then, obviously, we've looked at the finances, 125k to play with. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get ourselves through the transfer window. Who is our first game against? So our first game's against Sheffield Wednesday in League One, and then we play them in the first round of the Carabao Cup as well. So yes, we'll get ourselves ready for that game against Sheffield Wednesday. Right then, guys, season 1 of the rebuild. I say rebuild, we haven't actually brought anybody in. I just really want to go through the finances again. So 125k transfer budget. We're now up to 1.3 million in the overall balance. Profit and loss, you know, it's on a downward trajectory, but that is not a problem, you know, with costs of running the club, so I'm not overly worried about that. However, there's been a lot of business done. All our 550k spent on several hundred players. Look at the state of it. Loads of players already joined the club. We got 50k from outgoings, but I didn't think we needed to bring anybody in until we had a bit of an injury scare throughout pre-season. So when we just drop back to the transfer centre, Joseph Mills, 31-year-old left back, could be joining us. The deal is more or less done. He's a free agent. Ourselves and Exeter both trying to get him in. He's just a little bit of cover. At 31-year-old, we may get a couple of seasons from him. Last season, he actually played in League One for Northampton, where he played 27 times. So I'd be quite happy to get Joseph Mills in for a bit of depth, because when we look at the squad, both of my left backs are injured. Declan John and Jack Idale both out. Idale out for 3 to 4 months. Declan John out for 7 days to 3 weeks. So some injuries there, and I just need to get that cover in ASAP. So tactics-wise then, we're going to settle with the 4-3-3. Basically the one up front with 2 wide attacking playmakers. That's the way we're going with it. So we're going with Trafford in goal. John, obviously injured. Johnson, Santos and Jones as my back 4. Kumbeni we brought in from the under-18s. Sheenan and Williams in the midfield with Varson, a Kachunga out wide, and then Charles up front leading the line. We're going to play a tiki-taka on a positive mentality. We are going to go for it. Tiki-taka, is that the way to go in League One? Who knows? We're going to give it a go, and hopefully by the end of this we'll be in to the Championship. So looking at the dynamics then, Team cohesion is very poor. The amount of players joining us obviously not my doing, but the squad obviously needed a real upheaval and a rebuild before I even arrived. So club atmosphere is average and my geo support is good. When we look at top influencers then, does anybody oppose us? Now I've got 13 players as supporters, 12 players that have no real opinion of us, and we've got no team leaders. These social groups will be a mess, and they are a mess. 4 groups there. Dion Charles is the only player that isn't in any group at all, so work to do for him. Club vision remains the same, top half finish in the league, and not to do anything in any of the cups really. We are going to go for the Papa John's trophy though. If we get out of League One, like I say, it's our only chance we're going to get of lifting that bit of silverware. So looking at the competitions then, we're in League One, FA Cup, Carabao Cup and the Papa John's Trophy, like I say. What is the expectation now when we look at the season preview? So we had expected a 9th place finish, 9-1 to win the league. Sheffield Wednesday, our first opponents of the season, 9-4 to win the league, with Barnsley, Wickham, Peterborough, Portsmouth and Ipswich making up the top 6. Have we got any players in the Media Dream 11? No, we haven't. Plenty of new managers coming in now. Michael Duff at Barnsley, Ben Garner Charlton, Wade Elliott at Cheltenham. So yeah, lots going on for us. Again, you know, we've got lots to do. Who is the biggest fee of the season? So Jason McCarthy from Wickham to Preston for 115k. Big money in League One, I would say that. So yeah, having a look at the schedule-wise then, we've got Sheffield Wednesday in both the Carabao Cup and the League. We then take on Lincoln, Forest Green, Portsmouth and Port Vale. This is the first opponent in the Papa John's Trophy in Group D. Let's have a look who else is in there. Liverpool and 23s and Rochdale. We should be able to get out of that group. So yes, that is it then, guys. Big things coming up this season, hopefully. The top 2 are automatically promoted with 3rd to 6 going into the playoffs. So we have got an opportunity if we get into the top 6 of getting promoted. So yes, join me on the other side. Well, hopefully we'll have got out of League One, and that is part 1 of the mission accomplished. Right guys, so I'm sure you'll recall just before the break, this season was just about consolidating, dipping my toes in the water, so to speak, and no, not really, trying to get promoted, and we haven't even done it. Look at the state of it, 9th in the league, 69 points on the board. What makes me laugh about all this is we scored the most goals in the league, yet we conceded 68, which is the 5th worst. We've had an absolute shocker defensively anyway, but we finished 9th. Teams going up, Ipswich, Charlton and Derby. Sheffield Wednesday obviously were the early favourites to win the league. They've lost out in the playoffs by the look of it, even though they got 87 points on the board. When we look at the league table then in all of its glory, you can see, like I say, 9th place finish, 46 games played, 19 wins, 12 draws, 15 defeats, 79 goals scored, 68 goals conceded, plus 11 goal difference with 69 points on the board. That's a shocker. You know, 9 points between us and Portsmouth in 8th. Not good enough at all. And when we look at the past positions, we actually had a decent end to the season. We were mincing about in 14th and 13th place for the majority of the season. A really poor start as well. Down as low as 20th. So not good at all for us there. Ipswich, I'm assuming we're basically sat in the top 2 from match day 17. So what about finances wise then? Obviously it's the end of the season. We've got 87.5 grand to spend next season. We're still on 15% of available transfer revenue being made available. We're 3k under the wage budget. Overall balance is now minus 1.8 million. What about debt and loan? Still 37 million pound net debt. So we've got to do something this season. You know, like I've really dropped the ball. And I think for me as well, put it in the comments, would you sack the manager with that kind of finish in his first season? Would you be happy with a top half finish in League One, or would you be going for basically back-to-back promotions? You let me know, but for me, I'm disappointed that we didn't even hit the playoffs. So competitions-wise then, like I say, a 9th place finish in the league. We were knocked out in the second round by Cheltenham Town. There you go, 3-2 there. In the second round of the FA Cup. Knocked out in the second round by Everton. Let's have a look at that one. So was it close? Actually 3-2. A 90th minute penalty from Iwobi breaking our heart there. But yeah, we would have got away with a draw. And then it would have been down to penalties, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. And then we were knocked out in the 3rd round by Sunderland in the Papa John's Trophy. So let's have a look at that one, 2-0. So we haven't had a great season. But I still remain in a job. But dynamics-wise, team cohesion is good, club atmosphere is good, and marginal support is very good. So that could have been much worse. I was expecting plenty of reds then. Does anybody oppose us? No, but I've now got 19 players as supporters, 4 players that have no real opinion of us. Given that the season for me was a failure, when we look at it once again, you know, a 9th place finish, we've still got squad harmony, so every cloud and all that. So we might as well have a look at the team stats while we're here then. So like I say, 79 goals scored, which is the best 68 goals conceded, which is the 5th worst. Yellow cards wise, 102, which is the 3rd worst. 102 yellow cards across 46 games. Red cards wise 2, which is the 8th best, and 13,831 average attendance, which is the 3rd best. But what about those player stats then? So player stats wise, Dion Charles got 19 goals this season. How did he get on then? So let's have a look and see on the player overview for goals. Mitchell Smith got 22, Devante Cole with 21, and Dion Charles down there with 16. Fraser Campbell in there as well. Dan Landulu as well. So yeah, now joint 6, not bad going. So highest average rating then was Gethin Jones with a 7.13. Most assists was Sheehan with 10. Best pass completion was George Johnson with 96%. Most player of the match awards was Bergson with 3. That's poor as well. 3 player of the match awards throughout the entirety of the season. That's the highest. Most yellow cards was Gethin Jones with 16. And most red cards was Ricardo Santos and George Thomason. So this season's a write-off. Season 1, rustiness, need to shake it off. So yeah, finances not good. We've got a lot to do over the summer. We're going to have a clear out, I think, when we look at this squad once again. Potential-wise, we've got all of these players that we're probably going to want to move on now. But Kachunga, 30-year-old, I was raving about this guy. How did he get on? 34 games, 2 goals, 7 assists in the league. But we've got loads to do. Connor Bradley, our best player, he's about to leave. 20 appearances, 2 goals, 8 assists. Not bad, but I've really got to strengthen going into Season 2. Right then guys, Season 2. And after the shambles of Season 1, 9th place finish. I shouldn't really grumble, I suppose. The board was after, top half finish and we ended up getting 9th. But finances are absolutely ruining us. Now, big season ahead. We've got to get out of the league this season. Don't really want to rebuild where I struggled to get out of League One for 5 seasons. But there's a chance that could happen. Finances-wise, like I say, 95k in the transfer budget. I was unable to increase our transfer revenue. Still sat at 15%, and that is hurting us. However, we have had a lot of money come into the club, but like I say, we haven't been able to spend it. So overall balance is 106k. We're in the black. That's the main thing. But yeah, it's a struggle. And there we go then, looking at transfers. We'll have a look at it overall first. As you can see, 1.5 million coming into the club in sales. Now, Connor Carty, one of our hot prospects, he has gone to Sunderland. So we haven't seen too much of him. He didn't do anything last season. We got him from Wolves. 250k, he's off to Sunderland. Linford Saki, who was my hot prospect, has gone off to Sheffield United. 750k, there are add-ons in there, which you could take to 900k. Played 11 times for us last season, 1 goal, 1 assist. He could have really improved over the next couple of seasons, but I'm not willing to wait to give him that chance. And then another big sale was John Daddy Bodvarsson. He has gone off to Preston. Now, last season, he played 41 times for us, 7 goals, 4 assists, a 6.78 rating, but 350k to Preston. I'll take that. Like I say, we're not seeing too much of it, but money into the club is money into the club. And then joining us then, Rendell Williams, 45k. He's joined us from Hull, where he joined them last season on a free transfer. Played 4 times in the Championship. Didn't set the world alight at a 6.47, but I've strengthened out in the wide area. 45k. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4 star. Acceleration and pace 16 apiece. With dribbling 15 and crossing 12. Very happy with that, and he'll fit nicely into the squad. And at 25-year-old, he could be with us to the end of the rebuild. Then I've brought in an experienced goalkeeper in Adam Legsdins. I think that's how you pronounce it. We'll go with that. 35-year-old now. 12 casts for Latvia. 6k's worth. He's not a standout, let's be honest. But he'll come in as a backup goalkeeper. We spent 3.7k on him from Dundee when he played 32 times last season. Kept 12 clean sheets. Then I brought in Luke Dreher. Now he joins us from Crystal Palace, where we got him on a free transfer. He's played 1 time in the Premier League. That is it. He's not been out on loan anywhere. His career was starting to stagnate, so we've brought him in. Current ability 3 star, potential ability 4 star. 23-year-old, plays in the middle of the park. I'm expecting big things out of him this season. Then adding some youth to my centre-back options, Kellen Watts joins us from Newcastle for 30k. Now, he was out on loan at Plymouth a couple of seasons ago in League One, where we are, played 44 times with 2 goals. Really good player, 6 foot tall, heading 12, marking 12 and tackling 12. The acceleration and pace, also 12. Still plenty of development left in him. Can play all over the park. Let's get him up front. Why not with finishing 9? Very versatile. Then I brought in Dan Potts, can play right across the back four, 28-year-old English and American national. Current ability 3.5 star, he's playing to his full potential, valued at 50k. Acceleration and pace both 12, crossing and dribbling 11 apiece. Has also got those defensive attributes as well. And we brought him in for 29.5k from Luton, where he played 3 times in the Championship last season. Other deals potentially getting over the line is Gethin Jones going to Huddersfield for £2.3 million. Do not want to let this guy go, but he does want to leave. I've only got a couple of seasons left with him, so it might be time to cash in. If I can get one more season out of him, excellent, but £2 million, whilst again, I'm only going to get 15% of that, it's still good for the club. So looking at the tactics then, this is how we are going to line up. We're going to go 4-2-4. We shipped loads of goals last season, but we scored loads of goals last season. And I think defensively, if we go to a more balanced approach, this is the way to go. So going with Legzins in goal, John, Johnson, Toll and Jones at the back, with Dre and Sheehan in the middle, Afelayan and Williams out wide, and then Charles and Bakayoko up front. Could potentially bring in another striker. I might get another deal over the line. It's only the 27th of July, but obviously with the Qatar World Cup, all the games have been brought forward. So squad dynamics and team cohesion is good, club atmosphere and manager support are both very good. Josh Sheehan obviously wants to join other teams, he may still go. Top influencers wise then, Jones is the team leader, that is it, but like I say, we could lose him very soon. We've got 19 players as supporters, 5 players that have no real opinion of us. And then looking at the competitions, SkyBet League One, FA Cup, Carabao Cup and Papa John's Trophy. We get another pop at the Papa John's Trophy. I'm not expecting much else to happen. Would love a promotion. What are the odds? So season preview wise then, expected a 7th place finish, 7-1. Still no players in that mid-dream 11. It doesn't matter what we do, we can't get one in there. But we're only 2 seasons in. But this season we've got to get out of League One. So who are we coming up against first then? So Sheffield United in Carabao Cup first round. Not being kind to us out. We start off with games against Reading, recently relegated from the Championship, Bristol Rovers, Lincoln, Sheffield Wednesday and Wimbledon making up our first 5 games. Pre-season wise, you can see we scored plenty of goals, but we're also conceding them. And we cannot stop the rot, doesn't matter what I do. So this season, we've just got to outscore our opponents. Right, so there you go then, guys. Season 2, and we move up to the Championship, finishing on 93 points. 2 points clear of Oxford, but then well clear of Bristol City, Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday, who now go up obviously after falling in the playoffs last season. Let's have a look at the league table below in all of its glory. So as you can see, 46 games played, 28 wins, 9 draws, 9 defeats, 95 goals scored this season. Still conceded far too many at 52. 43 goals scored, 93 points on the board. And when we have a look at those past positions, we've been sat in the top 2 for the majority of the season. We actually haven't dropped off top spot since match day 30. Oxford, on the other hand, they've been up there with us. So the top 2 have been in those positions majority of the season, so that's fair. What about our performance in the rest of the competitions then? So obviously the main thing was for us to get out of League One this season, which we've managed to do, into the Championship. Now gives us 3 seasons left to go. So if we work on the basis it takes me 2 seasons to get out of a league, going into that 5th season, in theory, the way it's gone, then we should be in the Premier League. No guarantees though. English FA Cup though, knocked out in the 3rd round by Arsenal. That is harsh on us there. 4-1, absolutely spanked out the park. Carabao Cup knocked out in the 1st round by Sheffield United. Where are we? We lost 3-1 there. And then we were knocked out in the quarter-final by Salford City in the Papa John's. Arsenal under 23s end up winning it. Salford City getting knocked out by Lincoln there. Lincoln getting through to the final. And we lose 3-2. Was the late heartache there? No. Penalty from Ryan Watson on 68 minutes getting them the victory. We could not get back into it. So not ideal from us there. However, the main objective was to get out of League One and we've done it. So what about finances wise then? What have we got to play with next season? So overall balance is 697k. Transfer budget is 708k. But that transfer revenue is still absolutely ruining us at 15%. Wage budget wise 116k. We're currently spending 82. What I will say though is transfers wise there were more players that left us. So Gethin Jones, he left for £2.3 million, went off to Huddersfield for this season, played 27 games for them. But £2.3 million, very happy with that. And then we brought in Mateusz Musalowski, that's how we're going to pronounce it. He joined us on loan from Liverpool this season where he played 42 times and scored 17 goals. Can play across the attack and midfield 3 and up front as well, and he has done the business for us this season. So what about squad dynamics wise? And look at the amount of players that want to leave or want new deals. That'll all happen throughout this transfer window anyway, I'm sure, as those promotion pay rises kick in. But looking at team cohesion, very good. Club atmosphere is average. I'm not surprised given all of that. Maggio support is very good. What about top influencers though? I've still got no team leaders. Nah, it's not good at all. But I've got 21 player supporters, 3 players that have no real opinion of us, and those social groups are set now with a core social group and a secondary social group. Nobody an outcast. So I want to have a quick look at the squad depth then, and as you can see, we're still going with that 4-2-4. Probably not the way to go in the Championship. We may go for a more defensive tactic. Might even just drop back to the 4-4-2 vanilla, if I'm completely honest. So looking at it here, up front, obviously we've got Dion Charles. Musialowski, he will leave now. He'll obviously go back to Liverpool. Out wide, we've got Arfilian. Decent player, you know, he's done well for us. Coming on that free transfer, 7 goals this season, 8 assists. But yeah, we midfield, we seem okay. Defensively, we're not too bad neither. Now on the right-hand side, we probably need another option there. But definitely in goal. So there's still options. We'll see how those stars change as we get to the start of next season. But we've got a decent spine. So looking at the player stats then, the top goal scorers this season was Kieran, Sadlier and Milowski with 19 goals apiece. Highest average rating was Sheehan with a 7.32. Most assists was Sheehan with 15. Best pass completion was Johnson with 97%. Most player of the match awards was Musialowski with 7. Most yellow cards was Fox with 16. And most red cards was Dabo with 2 red cards. What about his team stats wise then? So we scored 95 goals, which is the best, but conceding 52 was the 10th best in the league. Yellow cards wise, 109 yellow cards. Again, over 100 yellow cards, which is the second worst. And 4 red cards. 6 worst there. Average attendance was second best at 18,500. So yeah, we've got out of the Championship. That's the big thing. The finances worry me at the minute. Only 708k to play with. 15% of transfer revenue being made available. Let's have a go at that. Increased percentage of transfer revenue for start of next season. I don't think that'll change. But what we're going to do is we're going to move forward to the start of Season 3, where we begin our life in the Championship. Right then guys, so it's fair to say that it's getting real. Obviously now in the Championship, finances are absolutely ruining us. Survival this season obviously is the top priority, trying to consolidate and push ourselves into the Premier League over the next 3 seasons, which is a big ask. You know, the more I look at it and now the state of our finances and what that's allowing me to do in the transfer window, it's becoming less likely. Not that I want to be that glass half empty kind of person, but it's becoming less likely that we're going to get to the promised land of the Premier League. So, big things required this season. Now, I have changed tactically. We'll talk through that shortly. I just want to go through our pre-season with the change of those tactics. So, we've done alright. Reading, Wimbledon, Folkestone, nothing to write about there, you know, 7-0. But against Heracles, 2-1. Queen of the South, we lost 2-0 and we got smashed by Borussia Dortmund, 3-1. But tactically, yeah, lots going on. But just let's have a look at those finances first. So financially, nothing left in the transfer budget. We managed to get that transfer revenue up to 30%. Still doesn't do too much for us. But thereafter, it'll go down to 10% if we get up to £41 million. That's not going to happen. Wage budget-wise, we're currently spending £133,000 and we've just got £600 left to play with. So not too much going on there. Yeah, not great, but that overall balance now up to £2.4 million. Transfers wise then, only 1 player has left us. Kieran Sadlier has gone. He's gone off to Derry City over in Ireland. £1 million they took him for now. He was up there for us last season, one of our better performers. 41 games played, 17 goals, 3 assists, a 7.02 rating. He's been a solid performer in the 2 seasons that I've already been at the club. But yeah, he goes away, 28-year-old now, and decent money, like I say, 30% we get for him, but decent sale nonetheless. So joining us then, first player through the door is Adam Lewis, 23-year-old Englishman who's versatile, can play central midfielder. Realistically brought him as a left back, very strong left foot, that crossing 13, dribbling 12, acceleration 14, quick off the mark with pace of 12 as well, passing 12 also. The big thing for me is with my defensive units, yes, we concede lots of goals and I'm going to get absolutely ruined for saying this, but it's all about going forward. You know, yes, left backs, they should be able to defend, but I need them to put that ball into the box and assist for plenty of goals. So his current ability is 2.5 star, potential ability 3.5 star. Got him on a free transfer from Liverpool. Last season he actually played 1 time in the Premier League, getting a 6.6 rating for that. But he has played in League 2 with Newport, 43 games, and at Plymouth in League 1, 20 games. So hoping for big things. May not be a natural starter, but we're certainly going to see a lot of him over the next couple of seasons. Then I spent 100k on Max O'Leary. So he has joined us from Bristol. 100k, played one time in League One last season. You know, not even a regular starter. Has played some games in the Championship, but he's an upgrade on the goalkeeper I already had. So 3-star current ability, potential ability is 4-star. 26-year-old. Decent all-round goalkeeper when you look there. That eccentricity is only 6, so there's not too many mistakes. Concentration 11 as well. Overall, standard goalkeeper, not a standout, but an upgrade on what we already had. Then I've brought in a new centre-back, Reece Burke. We got him on a free transfer. Decent player, heading 13, passing 13, tackling 14. Now, as you can tell, I'm not really shouting all about these players. They're fairly standard. Hopefully they'll do us a decent job in a championship. They're not world beaters. Like I say, this season all about consolidating. Reece Burke, another one, comes in, 26-year-old. Potential ability, 3.5-star. Free transfer from Coventry, where he played 10 times in the championship last season. And then finally, a decent signing for the club. Ethan Galbraith joins us from Manchester United on a free transfer. Now, 4 caps for Northern Ireland already. He's got international pedigree. Current ability 3-star. Potential ability could go up to 4.5-star. Plays as central midfielder. Can also play behind the striker. Long shots 13. I do like the look of that. But a decent all-round player. Physically could be better. Defensive-wise, not great. But we, like I say, got him on a free transfer from Manchester United, where he hasn't played competitive football yet. So tactically then, I have gone for the diamond. The diamond is a fairly bog standard tactic when you just want to soak it up and try and consolidate in a league. And hopefully the diamond will do it for me this time. I'm not expecting, you know, to be challenging or being in the playoffs. But anywhere outside of the relegation places is good for me. So this is how we're likely to line up with O'Leary in goal, Fox, Johnson, Towell and Dabo at the back. With Sheehan in that half-back role, Lewis and Galbraith in the middle with Dempsey. And then Miliaski, we've got him for another season. Got him on loan for another 12 months, which is fantastic for the club. And then Dion Charles. Plenty of other players who can drop in there. Obviously, Dreyer, who we got last season. Reece Burke as well can drop into the back. But I'm happy with how it looks. When we look at the squad overall, potential-wise, we're in a good place. But if we have a good season and morale and motivation keeps going, we've got the determination within the squad to push that ability to even closer to the potential. So squad dynamics wise now, I've only got 2 players that are asking to leave. I've got a couple of players that want new deals. I haven't got the funds now to do that. So team cohesion is good, club atmosphere is average, and managerial support is very good. Top influencers wise then, I've still got no team leaders. It just seems to be turnover season after season. We keep just churning players out. I've got 14 players as supporters, 7 players that have no real opinion of us. And when we look at the competitions then, SkyBet Championship, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. We're in the first round against Bradford in the Carabao Cup. Obviously now Papa John's trophy now. And what about the expectations this season then? So looking at the season preview, we're expected a 21st place finish. No players in that Media Dream 11. It's a big ask. Bournemouth evens to win the league with Everton, Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace. We could get absolutely spanked throughout the league this season. But yeah, not ideal. When we look at the stages then, 3 teams go down. We just need to make sure we're 21st or above come the end of the season. So let's have a look at the schedule then. How we start in this season with a game against Fulham, Bradford in the Carabao Cup, QPR, Sheffield United, Millwall and Luton as my first 5 league games. So yeah, say a prayer, fingers crossed, let's go. Right, so at this point then, guys, Season 3 is done, and we have held on by the skin of our teeth. 42 points on the board. Can see us in all our glory down there in 21st place. We've done it. You know, I should be happy about it. We've survived this season. That was the aim. We have done it. Let's have a look at the league table. So looking at the playoff final, West Brom against Ipswich there. But league table-wise, 46 games played, 11 wins, 9 draws, 26 defeats. Wowzers, 54 goals scored, 83 conceded, minus 29 goal difference, 42 points. We won one of our last 5 games. Yeah, not ideal. We're very lucky that those teams below us. Derby lost their last 5 games, and the other 2 teams pick up a point. So, yeah, we got away with it there. Teams going up, though, Fulham, Brighton, and then obviously Ipswich and West Brom in that playoff final. But, yeah, Brighton and Fulham, Everton having an absolute shocker in 8th place. So competitions-wise then, we were knocked out in the 5th round by Arsenal in the FA Cup. 4-1 there, absolutely battered. And Arsenal done us again in the Carabao Cup in the 3rd round. How did we get on? 4-2 there. So yeah, we didn't do too well against Arsenal. But what about finances? So finances, we've got nothing. We've got nothing. We've got absolutely nothing to play with. 30% of transfer revenue is being made available. Let's see if I can do something about that. So finance, I can't. I can't do anything about it. Wage budget wise, 148k, minus 1.6 million. So we're not great for overall balance neither. God, it's going to be difficult these next couple of seasons. Let's put it that way. So what about squad dynamics with the season we've just had? So team cohesion is very good, but that club atmosphere is very poor. My dual support though is very good. I've got a couple of players that are asking to leave. So Dion Charles, actually Kellen Watt and Dan Potts all wanting to go. Aaron Morley wants a better contract. Did he actually play any games this season? We played 38 games, so we were lucky giving him a better contract. Top influencers wise now though, Toll, Dabo and Dempsey, all team leaders. Anyone oppose us? No. We've only got 9 players as supporters. 12 players have no real opinion of us. What about those social groups? Still got 2 social groups as well. So looking at the player stats then, so Ethan Galbraith, that was like my main signing in the summer. Got 13 goals for me this season. Highest average rating was Max O'Leary, so my goalkeeper got a 7.06. Considering the amount of goals we conceded, that's quite surprising. Most assists was Morgan Fox with 10. Best pass completion was George Johnson with 97%. Most player of the match awards goes to Sheehan and Watt with 3 apiece. Again, that is poor. Most yellow cards, Frank Dabo with 10. And most red cards, Dan Potts with 2. It'll be interesting to see how many yellow cards we got this season because we love a yellow card. Only 59, obviously, with the change of tactic. We're not as physical as we have been. So, yeah, 54 goals scored, which is the 4th worst. Goals conceded, 83, which is the 6th worst. Yellow cards, 59, 7th best. And 2 red cards, which is the 12th worst. 12th average attendance. I think we were just under 20,000 last time as well, so no real pickup there. But yeah, when you look at it, Fulham on 103 points. Schedule-wise, form, must look at all those reds, all those defeats. We had a decent October. It was an okay November, and then we have just fallen off a cliff. We really have, In a space of 4 months, we've won 4 games. And one of them was in the FA Cup. So, not good, guys. That absolutely shocking. But yes, we survived your season. That was the main aim. I've got absolutely no money to spend. I've only got 30% of sales coming back to us. 30% of transfer revenue being made available is not ideal. It's got to be a bit of a bloodbath next season unless we can sort this out. So yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move forward to the start of season 4 where hopefully I've worked some miracles. Right then guys, so season 4 and finances are absolutely killing us. Still in season 4. I watched another rebuild that's been done on FM22 and by season 3 they've got an exceptional amount of money, 50 odd million pounds to be playing with and bits like that. And here's me, finances wise, sat with 0 transfer budget, 30% of transfer revenue being made available. And I'm currently spending off my wage budget. I'm completely maxed out. Overall balance though is £7 million, but we're still in trouble. And every season just seems to be a challenge at the minute, a real struggle. So yeah, that's where we are financially. Get me excuses in early for season 4. Got to get out of this league this season. I can't go 5 seasons trying to get out of League 1 and League 2. So only the one player leaving us then, Dion Charles. He was toxic in the dressing room. My dressing room atmosphere was abysmal and he was the leader within that group. Yes, he's had a decent couple of seasons for us. Only 7 goals last season, but the season before that he got 16. But I had to get him out of the club. He had to go. He was just so toxic. So he's gone off to Linfield for 650k. So joining us then, plenty of players, 7 players actually in total have joined us this season. So Marian Cabaraja has joined us, 27-year-old Croat. Left back, can play right up that left hand side, can play centre back but is unconvincing. Decent player, 13 acceleration, 13 pace, that stamina 16 is good for us as well. Crossing 14, dribbling 11, marking 11, tackling 12, heading 8. 6 foot, which is quite poor. His jumping reach is only 9. He's playing to his full potential, which is 4.5 stars. And when we look at him, free transfer from Hibs, where he was playing in the Scottish Premier League, 14 games last season. Another player joins us, Jarrell Kwanzaa, joins us from Liverpool, where he didn't actually play a game. He played 42 times in League 2 last season. Free transfer here. Valued up to 4.7 million, current ability 3-star, potential ability 5-star, heading 15, marking 13, tackling 13. Technically, he's not gifted apart from those defensive attributes. 6'4" though. Scottish under-21 international as well. Then I brought in the 30-year-old Josh Vella to add a bit of experience in my midfield. Current ability, obviously playing to his full potential, which is 3.5 star. Can play throughout me diamond, so he can play at the tip of it or at the base of it, but predominantly going to be in the midfield. We got him on a free transfer from Fleetwood, where he played 46 times in League 2 last season. As you can see, there's a bit of a theme here, that we're just bringing in loads of players from the tiers below us. So we've brought in then Ben Cotterill on a free transfer from Arsenal, hasn't played a competitive game. Comes in, can play at, like I say, at the top of me diamond. Current ability 2.5 star, potential ability 4 star. That long shots of 8 is the one thing that doesn't do too much for us, but he runs with the ball through the centre, and I need someone to try and pierce, you know, those defences. Capped at under 18 level, now 22. Another player that just popped up out of nowhere was Valerio Crespi. Current ability 2.5 star, potential ability 4.5 star. Striker, Italian, capped under 19 level, now 20-year-old. Attributes wise, doesn't look that good. That composure of 16, finishing the 14. Now I'm expecting some goals out of him. We got him from Lazio on a free transfer. He only played one time in the Serie CB last season, so not ideal there. And we've got a couple of loans. So James Stansfield joins us from Fulham. On a loan, he was on in League 2 last season with Crewe, where he played 14 times, scored 5 goals. Decent all-round player, 3-star current ability, potential ability 5-star. Hope for big things out of him. And then Misalowski joins us again. This guy needs no introduction. Last season he fell off a bit with 8 goals, but the season before he got 17. So tactically then, this is likely how we're going to line up, with O'Leary in goal, Fox, Watts, Toll and Burke, with Sheehan in the holding role, Dempsey and Vella in the midfield with Galbraith, behind Crespi and Stansfield up front. We're still going to play that counter-attacking style football with a positive mentality. Hopefully, like I say, it does us better this season. Squad dynamics then, we've turned it around. Team cohesion's good, club atmosphere is good, and Maggio support is very good. Got no player issues, and top influencers wise, and I've got 15 players as supporters, 9 players that have no real opinion of us. Still got 3 team leaders. And then when we look at competitions, SkyBet Championship, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, we take on Wrexham in the Carabao Cup. And what about the expectation and the season preview then? So this season we're expecting a 23rd place finish. They're not happy with my recruitment. Still no players in that Media Dream 11. Crystal Palace, Everton, Bournemouth, Norwich, Forest and Sheffield United making up the top 6. Everton expected to get promoted. Barnsley, Bolton and Wigan expected to go down. So what do the board think of all this then? So that 5-year ongoing plan is to sell players for a profit, the very players with that, work within the wage budget we're on course of doing, and to build a new stadium with the not judging on. At the end of this current season, they're expecting us to fight bravely against relegation, in the FA Cup be competitive, and reach the second round of the Carabao Cup. My contract actually expires at the end of this season, and he's looking to sell the club, right? In that respect, that is good. We might get a season with some money if we get a sale this season, so fingers crossed that happens. But let's have a look then at the schedule. So we start off with games against Nottingham Forest, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Bristol City and Coventry as my first 5 games, with Wrexham in there as well. Pre-season, like I say, has been fairly decent, quite happy with that. But yeah, big push needed this season. Now then guys, we are back at the end of Season 4. Well, almost back at the end of Season 4. As you can see there, we have made it to the Championship playoff final against Everton. Now Everton, I have given them some grief throughout this rebuild for being in the Championship in the first place, and they've got the chance now to spoil the party. We're basically going to be going into Season 5, but will we be going into Season 5 in the Premier League fighting for survival, or going into Season 5 in the Championship after some heartbreak? So what we're going to do then is we'll skip forward one more day, and hopefully by the end of it, we are in the Premier League. Can you imagine the absolute scenes if we end up getting promoted as well? It'd be crazy, especially with the funds that we've got, or not got. Oh, but it's the moment of truth. Absolutely massive for the club. When we look at, we've won. We bloody went and won it 2-1. Adam Lewis at a penalty on 71 minutes gets us the win. I don't think we've beaten Everton throughout this save. When we look, I'm sure it was 4 defeats and 1 draw out of all that. They've even got a player of match performance from Pozo. When you look at their team, it's got Jordan Pickford, Tanganga, Tarkowski in there, Bamin, Decore, McNeil, Lewis Dobbin as well is one of their own. And we've ended up doing them 2-1 with 2 shots on target. We've absolutely shithoused our way into the Premier League there with a 2-1 victory. There we go. We have done it. We have done it. We might as well look at the rest of our performance then, as in the FA Cup we were knocked out in the 3rd round by Lincoln City. Bit of a shambles there from us, really. We lost 2-0. Oh dear, on a replay as well. And we're knocked out in the 2nd round of the Carabao Cup by Wolverhampton Wanderers. But it doesn't matter, because we have been promoted to the Premier League in our final season. That could have went one or two ways, and we've done it. We've absolutely, like I say, shithoused our way into the Premier League through the playoffs. So looking at the finances, we've got £36 million to spend in the Premier League. Overall balance, so it's only 2.5 million, and we're now getting 75% of transfer revenue. There we go. Look at that wage budget we've given, 420k. We're currently spending 168k. This rebuild just got interesting. I cannot believe it. There we go. What about squad dynamics then? This has got to be through the roof. And it's not. I've got plenty of players that want to leave. But most of these players will disappear now anyway. Probably not going to keep faith with the team that got us promoted. We've got the opportunity now with the money, finally, on the 5th season to actually rebuild this club properly. Team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere very good, and so is my geo support. So a full sweep across. Then when we look at it, we've got 15 players supporters, 8 players have no real opinion of us. Absolutely massive social group. We've still got 3 social groups, which surprises us. But yeah, overall, you know, mission accomplished by getting to the Premier League. So what about the player stats then? 19 goals for Musalowski. Now, this guy, can we buy him? He's been absolutely incredible for us. We're not going to buy him. I'm not going to spend my entire transfer budget on keeping this guy with us. I wonder what his current ability by star-wise would be in the Premier League. But yeah, 19 goals nonetheless. Highest average rate was for my goalkeeper, Max O'Leary at 7.25. Most assists, Carl Dempsey with 12. Best pass completion was Tall with 97%. Most player of the match award goes to O'Leary with 5. Most yellow cards is Dabo with 17. And most red cards was Toll and Dabo with 1 apiece. Then when we look at the team stats, we scored 78 goals, which is the 5th best, which is quality, considering we went with the diamond and we stuck with the diamond as well. The diamond, obviously, that will see us through the Premier League as well. I'm not going to change tactically. I don't think it would be wise to build a new team around a new tactic. I think we build a team around our current tactic. So goals conceded, 63, which is the 12th best, not ideal. Yellow cards wise, 78, which is the 8th worst, and 2 red cards. Average attendance now has broken over 20,000 with 23,013 fans on average joining us, which is the 8th best in the league. Absolute scenes. Let's have a look at the squad depth. So squad depth wise then, you know, we have got a lot to do up front. Our best striker at the club is on loan. Our best tipper of diamond, the attacker midfielder, is also on loan. Galbraith, though, is a quality player. But is he Premier League quality? There is a real opportunity now as we make our way into the Premier League that the value of our players is going to dramatically increase as well. So we might be able to bring even more funds in there as well. I think when I say 75% of transfer revenue will now come back into my pocket and I'll be able to recycle and spend again. So I will take that. But then there's nothing, absolutely nothing now. Morgan Fox, defensive left, 31-year-old. One of the best players at the club, valued at 2.1 million. I reckon if I was to set that transfer status, you know, and go unspecified, it's currently valued at 5 to 6 million pounds. So, yeah, there's still money to be had there. But Crystal Palace running away with it, 107 points on the board. When we have a look at the stages, sorry, there we go, league table wise. Lost 5 all season, didn't lose to us, but 107 points is absolutely mental. Wigan, Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield all relegated. What about the Premier League though? Who went down? Blackburn, Brentford and West Brom all go down. Manchester City there winning the league, with Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United making a top 4. Newcastle in 6th into the Conference League place, with Liverpool in 5th. Not ideal for them. So there we go then, guys. One more season to go. A massive rebuild now to be had as we make our way into the Premier League. Let's go and spend some money. Right then, we're back at the start of Season 5. In the Premier League, we've done it, like I say, managed to get ourselves through past Everton in Season 4, and here we are. And we have spent some money. However, finances, I have continued to try and balance the books. Transfer budget-wise, you still got £20 million in the kitty. 75% of transfer revenue is still being made available, but I have stuck some extra into the wage budget. So we're now currently spending 552k, and that is my budget as well. So very happy with that. So debt and loans wise, you know, we're looking quite decent there overall, and I'm happy with how it's going. £13 million in the overall balance. So players leaving the club then, Ethan Galbraith, he has gone off to Ghent, and it was a decent deal for us in fairness. He went off to Belgium for 8.75 million after we got him on a free transfer. Now, it was great for us, you know, 24 goals in 2 seasons in the league. He's played 2 times already in Belgium. Not exactly set the world alight with a 6.25 rating. However, decent deal for us. Kellen Watts, another player that's left, he's gone off to Cyprus for 8.5 million to Apoel after we bought for 30k. More or less been ever present throughout the seasons. 34 games in his first season, but finished with 40 last season. 3 goals, a 7.03 rating, decent player. but that's some serious money for us. And then the last player to leave was Dabo. So he has gone off to Reading in the Championship. We bought him for 70k and we sold him for 3.3 million. Decent player. Again, plenty of game time for us, but 3.3 million, and we've Maestro offloaded his wages. Now, we have gone big with our transfers, more or less with the wages, so 24k per week for Ethan Laird. Now, he joined us on a free transfer from Manchester United. He played 29 games a couple of seasons ago for QPR in the Championship, but a very good player that can play defensively left and right, predominantly on that right-hand side. Acceleration 16, pace 15, crossing and dribbling also high. That heading of 8. 5'10", he's not the tallest player, but current ability 3-star, potential ability 4-star, valued at 9.2 million, and our first free transfer of this summer window. Another free transfer was Scott Twine. Now, this guy has played a couple of games in the past at Burnley. We got him on a free transfer, but he did spend last season on loan in the Championship. He's not a player that's going to set the world alight, and he's going to just drop some depth in there for us. He likes to shoot from distance, runs with the ball, cuts inside from the left wing. He would play behind the striker at the top of the diamond. Currently valued £2 million and playing to his full potential. Another free transfer was a 25-year-old Scottish under-21 international, Lewis Ferguson. Can play in the midfield, also behind the striker. Physically very good, mentally good as well, with 17 leadership, 16 work rate. Playing to his full potential, which is 3.5 star. We're paying 22.5 grand a week to have him with us, and we got him on a free transfer from Bologna. But he played 28 times in the Scottish Premier League last season with Dundee, a 7.28 rating, 6 goals, 3 assists. Really good player for me, valued at 11.5 million, and like I say, can play behind the striker or in the midfield. Then strengthening my goalkeeping department, I brought in the 29-year-old under-21 international Angus Gunn. A decent player, 3.3 million, playing to his full potential. Aerial read 17, 6'5", absolute colossus, and we brought him in for 220k. Then Nat Phillips joined the club, 28-year-old. He is now £4 million he's valued at. 3-star player, heading 16, marking 14, tackling 14. A solid depth option. We brought him in for 400k after he left to go to Brighton for 6.25 million. Only played one time in the Championship. Didn't actually get any game time in the Premier League last season. But I'm happy to bring him in for another depth option. Then I brought in a 23-year-old Spaniard, David Larrubia. Now he joins us from Lazio for 475k. Played 6 times in the Serie A last season. Realistically wants to play behind the striker. Can also play in the midfield again. But that dribbling 13, first touch 13, passing 13, vision 13, acceleration and pace both 14. You know, that long shots at 12 could be a bit better. But current ability 3-star, potential ability 4.5 star. And currently valued up to £8 million. Then strengthening at the centre-back area, but also out on that left-hand side, I've brought in the Mexican, Johan Felipe Vasquez, 21 caps from Mexico already, 26 years old. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4-star, valued at £10 million. But we're paying him 33k per week. Heading 14, marking 14, tackling 14, and strength at 12. Likes to stay back, which is we want someone that's on the cover. And we got him for 500k from Cremonese in Serie B, where he played 40 times last season. A really good defensive option for us. Then another one of my defensive options was Modibo Sangan, a Mali international with 15 caps, 26-year-old, valued at 8.2 million, more or less playing to his full potential. Heading, marking and tackling, all high, tackling at 16, that's strength at 17 as well. 6'2", and we got him for 2.1 million from Sassuolo, where he played 9 times in Serie A last season. Then Musliowski, this guy's name I've butchered all the way through this. He has been loyal to us and I've brought him in, spent £3 million getting him to the club. What a fantastic deal for us. Scored 16 goals last season in the Championship for us, and he's been there more or less since day dot. But dribbling 17, finishing 40, we know what this guy's about. He'll get goals for us this season. Then strengthening up top again, I brought in a 28-year-old Argentinian, Ramon Mireles. Now, current ability 4-star, and he's playing to his full potential. Aggression 16, bravery 17, shoots with power, heading 18, 6 foot. Got it for £4 million from Osijek in Croatia. He only played 1 time at the start of this season, got 7.1 rate, but 20 goals last season in 35 appearances. Proven goal scorer, yes, it's in Croatia, but I think he'll do bits for us this season, and every goal is going to count as we fight for survival. And then finally, I've brought in a 26-year-old Cypriot now with 2 caps, 1 goal. He's obviously got English heritage as well. Marcus Edwards, really real quality player. He does want to play out wide, but I'm going to play him in the midfield or behind the striker. What a player. Currently valued 15.5 million. Potential abilities 4.5 stars, and we brought him in for 8.25 million from Brentford. Now, he did play 9 times in the Championship last season. I think this guy's quality. Look at those stats. Dribbling 16, first touch 16, technique 16, vision 16. I've got a really good feeling about this guy. And like I say, hopefully he'll help us in our fight for survival. So tactically then, how are we going to line up? So just like this, we're sticking with the diamond on a cautious mentality with O'Leary in goal, Vasquez, Sangyan, Toll and Laird at the back with Morley in the holding role, Ferguson and Edwards in the middle with Lariba behind Meirez and Milowski up front. What a team that is. You know, we have spent money. We've really ploughed some money into the wages. However, financially, as you can see, like I say, still £20 million in the bank. So squad dynamics and team cohesion is average, club atmosphere is good, and managerial support is very good. I've got players that want to leave. I can't really give any more money with contract increases, so they're just going to have to stick with what they're on. I've got 16 players supporters, 5 players have no opinion of us. Competitions wise, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We start off in the Carabao Cup against Mansfield. What is the expectation for this season then? So we're expected to get relegated, 800 to 1. To get relegated. Not ideal, as you can see there. Carlo Ancelotti, now the manager of Liverpool. Wowzers. And what are the board expecting this season then? So the end of the current season is to fight bravely against relegation, to reach the FA Cup 4th round, and to reach the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. My contract also expires at the end of this season. We've just got to continue to work within the wage budget and do not sign players over the age of 30. They're delighted that I haven't done that. So yeah, overall then, let's just have a quick look at the schedule before we move on. So games against Burnley, Bournemouth, Watford, Manchester City and Crystal Palace make up our first 5 games. So this is it then, guys. This is it. Let's sim this last season and hopefully we stayed in the Premier League, which, let's be honest, would be a massive success. Right, so that's it then, guys, and as you can see, a 15th place finish. We live to fight another day. That's the main thing. We've managed to survive in our sole season within the Premier League across these 5 years. 38 points on the board as well, which is absolutely massive for us. When we look at this league table, 38 games, 8 wins, 14 draws, 16 defeats, 44 goals scored, 67 conceded, which isn't great. However, you know, considering how we're playing, isn't bad at all. Minus 23 goal difference, 38 points on the board, 6 points clear of safety in the end. When we look at our past positions then, we minced around at the bottom for basically 13 odd games. Match day 5 to 18 getting us there. We're up and down, and then towards the back end of the season, we've got ourselves out of trouble as other teams have started to tail off. Was Burnley, they have had a real fall from grace. Brighton also going down, didn't see that one coming. Fulham, however, did expect to go down. But there's other teams in there. Bournemouth, mincing about. There's a lot of us, in fairness, at the bottom that looks like we're battling out. Aston Villa in 16th, also staying up. So what about competitions-wise then? So we were knocked out in the 4th round of the FA Cup by Swansea City. Let's have a look there. That's disappointing. And it was a replay. We were knocked out 2-1. And we got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, where we were absolutely battered 9-0 on aggregate. Who ended up winning that? Liverpool, as you can see there. So in the final, Liverpool won 4-2 against Leeds. So what about finances then? We would have had almost £50 million to spend this season. Overall balance is plus 47 million. Wage budget is now 825k per week. That is fantastic. Debt and loans wise, we've left him in a fantastic place, let's be honest. You know, we had basically 4 seasons of wheeling and dealing, and we got ourselves in a position now where if we were to carry on, we'd have £50 million to play with, which is absolutely fantastic. What about squad dynamics then? So team cohesion is good, club atmosphere average, managerial support excellent. Still only got 3 players that aren't too happy, which is good. 19 players are supporters, 2 players have no real opinion of us, and social groups, we're down to 2 social groups yet again. So I just want to have a quick look at the squad overall. So when we look at those wages, Meirez is on 42.5 grand a week. You know, those wages are massive. Now, what about transfer value though? Max O'Leary, my goalkeeper, is now valued up to £40 million. And we got this guy for 100k. £40 million. Musilowski is 24 million. Ethan Laird, 16.5 million. So there's real options there should you want to sell and rebuild as well. So player stats wise then, so top goal scorer is Raymond Meirez with 14 goals. It'd be interesting to see who is the top goal scorer in the Premier League, and will we anywhere near? So no, not at all. Erling Haaland with 43 goals this season. 43 goals. Isaac with 26. But yeah, Haaland has been tearing it up. So the highest average rating was O'Leary with 7.21. Most assists was Laribia with 9. Best pass completion was Sagna with 95%. Most player of the match awards was O'Leary with 9. So he's been solid all season. Most yellow cards was Laird with 13. And most red cards, 2 apiece for Burke and Laird. And then what about team performance? So team stats wise then, so we scored 44, which is the 8th worst. We conceded 67, which is the 3rd worst. Yellow cards, 92, which is the worst. And 4 red cards, which is the 3rd worst. Average attendance now up to 27,000, which is good. So just we'll quickly look at the club vision then going into the next season. So we just need to continue remaining in the Premier League. Next season is obviously to fight bravely against relegation yet again. Build a new stadium, actually that is in progress. So yeah, they're really going out for next season. But when you look at it, club info wise, what did I say capacity was for where we are? 28,000. So we're maxing out more or less capacity with where we are. So milestones wise then, there's not too much to celebrate, is there really? We finished as champions in SkyBet League One, and then we finished 6th in the championship and were promoted via the playoffs. No silverware apart from that League One trophy this time round. And then when we look at the overview, we bought 29 players into the club for 19.75 million, sold 24 players to bring in 33 million pounds. Highest fee spent was on Marcus Edwards, 8.25 million, and highest fee received was on Galbraith, 8.75. Absolutely massive for us. So yeah, that's it. You know, nothing really to scream and shout about this time around. Been one of the hardest rebuilds I've had just because the finances has absolutely ruined us. But yeah, 33% of you voted for this rebuild and I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments of any other teams you'd like to see me rebuild. But yes, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot. But take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much. Ta-ra.